Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Daytona Duels here at the Daytona International Speedway. Today we run two races to set the Daytona 500 field. We see which open cars make the big show or have to go home and try again next year. Let's waste no time and get through the starting lineup. On pole, Justin Perez, a surprise pole sitter. He's also an open car. He doesn't need to race his way in. He can fall back on his qualifying time. And to his outside is veteran Jonathan Marks. In row 2 is another driver who can fall back on his qualifying time, that being Rick Parsons. He starts third with Patrick Kamietz to his outside. In row number 3 is Jason Main. He needs to race his way in. And to his outside is two-time champion Michael Parsons. In row number 4 is Geoff Jordan and Angel Gutierrez. He needs to race his way in as well. Row 5 is Maria Tagola. She needs to race her way in. And to her outside is the 54, Orion Scarrett. Row 6 is Mark Evans and your defending champion Kurt Perkins. Row 8 is Ezekiel Garcia-Ball and Aline McThydig. I believe this is row 9. Is Doge Borkington. He needs to race his way in. And to his outside, Carlson Vebelst. In row 10 is Skippy Larson and Neil Dick. Row 11 is Big Mac. He needs to race his way in. And to his outside, Sierra Reno. In row 12 is Anton Alvarez and Leroy Conwell. In row 13, pretty much at this point, you got all these drivers who need to race their way in. So Mark McDowell, Kirsten Bell in row, I believe, 12. I lost count a long time ago. Samuel Levester and Sally Patrick, Matthew Hubert and Ella Baker, Taryn Zips and Alan Rose, Christopher Lattimore, and finally, Tori Santori Jr. rounds out the field. He doesn't need to race his way in. He can fall back on owner points if he wants. Only 4 spots are available. The rest will have to go home. Let's get this race underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
There goes the engines. They are fired up. The fans are fired up. And the field is rolling. Do we have any mechanical issues? No, we do not. We are good. For now, at least. As Justin Perez and Jonathan Marks, they lead the field for Duel 1. Duel number 1 of 2 today. Perez, kind of a shock to win the pole. He was kind of deep. It was kind of deep in qualifying, and he made a shocking fast run to win the pole and lock himself into the 500. Can he do anything with that speed, though, in a pack now as the pace car pulls in? 40 laps. Who's gonna make it? Who won't? Green flag is out. We are underway at Daytona. Rick Parsons looking a bit aggressive here on the start. Looked at getting the lead here as Gutierrez moves down to the bottom. Smart move by Gutierrez. He currently holds the second spot of the open drivers currently, as Perez will get clear down the backstretch. Oh, and here comes Jason Main way down low, trying to make it 3 wide. 3 wide, possibly. He's trying to hang on to his position of being the first car in, at least for race cars, as I'm going to fix the leaderboard. And maybe he's going to try to go for the lead here. Here comes Main. I almost messed up. Side by side to the line, Perez will just barely lead the lap, but Main will have the advantage on the inside as he enters turn 1, unless Gutierrez has other ideas. But no, he'll stay put right behind Main. I believe, oh, here comes Big Mac 77 right behind. I believe he currently holds the last spot back there, as Main moves up to the high side, Gutierrez moves up to the middle. And here comes Mark Evans down to the bottom. Here comes Gutierrez for the lead. Angel Gutierrez made some part-time starts last season in the 53. If you watched last season, you'll remember him. after St. Craig was hired to replace Bryson Miller. He took some starts in the 53 at short tracks and ovals and all sorts. And he got hired by Mark Guerrero, who formed his own team affiliated with Mark's Motorsports. And now he's looking to race his way into the 500, but Evans, the veteran, has some other ideas here. And the field is definitely getting shuffled up here. Gutierrez, Big Mac, Mark McDowell. So far, those drivers are locked in as Kirsten Bell, or at least in the field now. Kirsten Bell right behind, fighting Perez for that last spot. We still got a long way to go, though. Or excuse me, Maine. She's gonna try to fight Maine for the last spot here. As we'll see. There's Bell right there. Maine a couple positions up front. Kirsten Bell kind of an underdog here, trying to make her way into the 500. Battle for the lead out front. Alvarez is going for it. Oh, but here comes Levester, foiling Bell's plans. Helped by Chris Lattimore, who also needs to make his way into the 500 if he wants a chance. As he passes Kirsten Bell, still has to pass Maine for the final spot. Lattimore has some other ideas, though. That could possibly foil the plans here. As Alvarez... Oh, it was close at the line between Alvarez and Gutierrez, but I believe Alvarez will get clear here. As we pay attention to the cut line battle here. Levester will have the advantage on the bottom as they're 3 wide behind. Garcia, Ball, and a couple other drivers. Oh, here comes Big Mac for the lead. Big Mac making it 3 wide. He knows he's got to race his way in as well, so he's trying to get the lead. Big move there by the 77 machine. As I believe Levester has gotten around Maine. As once again the field shuffles. Maine is out currently. And it's currently Big Mac, Gutierrez, McDowell just barely holding onto his spot, and Levester. But I believe McDowell is going to get passed by Lattimore here. So Christopher Lattimore now currently holds the final spot. But that'll probably change as the race goes on, as here comes Perez. He wants his lead back. He's already won the pole, so if he wins the duel, it doesn't really matter. But still, a win is a win nonetheless. As now Levester moves into the top spot and maybe going to try to get the lead here. There's going to be... Well, Perez blocked that as they fight behind for the final transfer position. It's still, I believe, it's still Big Mac kind of just barely over Ella Baker. This is a tight battle here. I didn't expect them to get all the way to the front here as Levester gets moved up by Lattimore. Trying to maybe help Perez here a bit. And now Baker's going to make it 3 wide behind. And get that top position. Ella Baker planning to run the full season this time, unlike last year. And getting pushed by the defending champ as she moves up to the high side. Maybe Perkins can take advantage of that. Kurt Perkins wouldn't mind winning the duel here as Garcia, he makes it even more aggressive. He makes it 3 wide. And they just continue to fight for second. Nobody has been able to challenge Perez here for the last couple laps, but maybe Garcia Ball has a chance here, pushed by Parsons on the high side. And he's going to block Rick Parsons. That's a nice block right there. Nice move by the 17 machine. And now it's single file out front once again. And now Parsons drops low. He doesn't have to race anybody currently. He's locked into the 500 based on his qualifying time. But he's a veteran. He wants to prove that, hey, I raced about 13 years ago. I still got it in me. I can still win. And he's only doing this part-time as I believe Wilkington moves up to the top spot for drivers who need to race their way in. It's kind of a mess behind as they take it 3 wide. We might have a lead change here. Here comes Rick Parsons trying to take the lead. And Parsons still side by side with Perez here. And he's just barely going to clear him here into the tri-oval. So Rick Parsons, new leader here at Daytona, 3 wide behind. Sierra Reno won the Clash this season. This year's Clash, he's looking to win more. Win his duel, maybe even the 500. The Daytona Grand Slam, as I like to call it, as now Tagola takes over the top spot of drivers who need to race their way in. I'm not sure who holds the final spot in that clusterfuck of a pack back there. I'm pretty sure it is still Borkington just barely over Sally Patrick behind. And we're coming up 10 laps complete. 20 to go here as Parsons still leading the field here. Aline McThydig, Anton Alvarez all on the inside line trying to help him or maybe try to take the lead away from him. So I believe it is Tagola, Bell, Hubert right behind, and Sally Patrick currently holding on to the final positions here as Kamits going down to the apron on the backstretch here as they fight for second. Let's get a better view of that transfer battle. Sally Patrick, I think, holds on to the final spot here as she just got passed by Jason Main, but here comes Mark McDowell on the inside lane. And oh, I thought we were about to have a battle for the lead between father and son right there, as I believe Gutierrez takes over the... No, not Gutierrez. McDowell just took over the final spot in the 13. We still got more than 20, less than 20 to go here, so we still got a long time as Alvarez takes the lead of the duels. And so far, your transfer drivers are Jason Main. Gutierrez now holds on to the final spot and just got passed by Tagola, and maybe Ella Baker could have a chance here of getting into that fourth and final spot. You want to be in that fourth and final spot. If you can't get into that spot, your race is over. But still, we got a long way to go here as they're 3 wide. And now I believe the 25 holds on to the spot. If the race were to end here, that would be your 4 drivers racing their way in. It would be Jason Main, McDowell, Gutierrez, and Baker. As Jason Main, to be specific, has moved up into second place, right behind Alvarez. But for how much longer can he hold on to second place before he decides to maybe take the lead here? Trying to get some help from Geoff Jordan from behind, but he's just not close enough to draft up to him and help him get by the 44 right now. Alvarez doesn't have to worry about racing his way into the 500 unlike last year. He's locked in with the owner points. So is that 4 wide behind? That might be... They are 4 wide. Just for a second. Oh, and they wreck! Crashing! Oh, and that's a lot of torn up race cars. The Parsons are involved. Both Mike and Rick. Aline McThydig, Justin Perez, the pole sitter, Sierra Reno, Ryan Scare, oh, and Samuel Levester is all torn up. Sally Patrick as well. Patrick Kamits too. So that was definitely the big one in the duel. And let me tell you, 4 wide doesn't work. Our first caution of the race. And that'll definitely change a ton of things in this race as we approach the halfway point. See what happened here to cause the big one in the duels. So obviously, like I said, they were 4 wide there, and you can't really make it 4 wide here at Daytona, as Vebost attempted to do. Oh, it's 4 wide behind. Samuel Levester I think got turned by Jonathan Marks, and then they all pile up on the outside lane, and it's a ton of smoke. Scarrett goes spinning. Justin Perez. I don't know where Sally Patrick got the damage from. Maybe collided with another driver. But that is very unfortunate for some of these drivers who have to race their way in. Oh yeah, Scarrett made a great save right there. Despite all the damage. And I think it was Marks who turned Levester, or it was Perez. Either or. Oh, it was Perez. Marks made no contact right there. Rick Parsons kind of gets hit in the back by his son right there, so not ideal right there. Oh, and that's where you see Sally Patrick get the damage. Hubert just barely making it through there. And a lot of drivers taken out here. I believe some of those drivers who have to race their way in will try to continue, but at least most of those are going to be fine. They're going to be in the 500, but we'll see how this shapes out. And I guess there's some slower cars behind. Zips and Rose, they're really slow. So anyways, we're under caution here for the first time in duel number 1. Oh, where did Ellen Rose get the damage from? He looked fine. You can see a lot of drivers going to pit road to fix the damage. Probably the stack up here. And that's exactly what happened, and that's more damage to Levester. That is unfortunate. So a bit of a stack up here. Back in the pack. I probably ruined Levester's day. And more problems for Rose, who completely avoided that incident and was fine. So I don't know what happened there, but most of the damaged cars will head to pit road, and the rest will stay out. Welcome back to Daytona. We're about to get underway for the restart here with we're close to about 10 laps to go here in the Daytona Duels. We had a big one preceding this current caution that took out a bunch of drivers, as you'll see here. Samuel Levester, Ryan Scarrett, Justin Perez, the pole sitter, Elaine McThydig, Rick Parsons, and finally Michael Parsons. But we still have many drivers that are still trying to race their way in. The current transfers right now are Jason Main, currently sitting in second. In fourth is Angel Gutierrez. Behind him in eighth is Mark McDowell. Ella Baker in seventh, and Mark McDowell currently holds on to the final spot. But Maria Tagola in 12th is looking to pounce on the opportunity to get by McDowell on the restart here. So it's going to be intense last couple laps to see who makes it and who goes home. It'll be very interesting to watch here as the pace car setting up to go to pit road here soon. Alvarez looking to get third on the starting grid, right behind Perez. Main looking to make the race and maybe get third. That would be a bit of an upset there, just like Perez winning the pole. As the pace car will pull in this time by, it'll be 12 laps to go, I believe. And Alvarez leads the field to green. And we're back underway. Main already peeking down to the inside there. And Geoff Jordan moves up to the outside, trying to get some sort of run built up. McDowell moves down to the bottom behind. He wants to make up positions. He wants to make sure he is locked into the 500. Trying to get around Baker behind, as it is a clean and calm restart here. Tagola is going to move down to the inside here, trying to catch up to Baker behind. They're side by side behind as Gutierrez moves down to the inside. Gotta watch that battle there. for the transfer spot. Tagoa will get around Baker. She now holds on to the final spot. But Lattimore, Big Mac, and Doge Workington, they're all right behind her. And they're quickly catching up to Mark McDowell and Jason Main. They got stuck on the outside lane here. 11 laps to go. Tagoa can make up spots, and Lattimore could get in, possibly. Fighting McDowell. Now he has the final spot. Here comes Big Mac as well. And this field has been shuffled up as Gutierrez takes the lead out front. And now Big Mac, I believe, holds on to the final spot, trying to get around Jason Main here, though. And now he holds on to the fourth and final spot as Gutierrez leads out front. And Big Mac's making some big moves. It changes once again. Big Mac is now second to last as McDowell holds on to the final spot. Now Tagoa holds on to the final spot. Here comes Lattimore, trying to make a move on the inside. As Gutierrez is trying to hold them all off with 10 laps to go. And Lattimore now holds on to the final... No, I think it's Borkington behind us. Borkington, very fast. Here comes Neil Dick. He won his duel last year. He's looking to do it again. Trying to get around Gutierrez here. That might affect Big Mac, as he currently sits second. Borkington now, I believe, is third. This is an intense transfer battle, as Borkington now holds on to... No, wait. No, he's still on the outside looking in. Look at that. Lattimore and McDowell, they're trying to go for the lead here. Borkington just behind. Oh, there's some solo cars. Just right behind, looking for a way to get into the race. This is the flag of Sierra Leone. Thank you, Doge. And now Lattimore is trying to get the lead here. He's trying to make it 3 wide. Borkington and Jonathan Marks are going with him. Borkington has to beat Big Mac here if he wants to get into the show currently, as Lattimore goes for second on Gutierrez. Borkington right behind. He's trying to battle McDowell and Big Mac for that position. There are currently... it keeps changing. 16 cars in this front pack. They have completely pulled away as Workington now holds on to the third transfer spot as he got around Big Mac. Big Mac now holds on to the final transfer spot from Mark McDowell as Neil Dick has a nice little gap over everybody else as here comes Kurt Perkins. He also won his duel last season. He's trying to win it once again. And now with all the transfer drivers on the high side, Ella Baker and Jason Main behind could take advantage of that as they fall back. Lattimore currently holds on to the top spot. Big Mac currently holds on to the final spot. As the laps are winding down, Neil Dick still leading over everybody else. There we go. I believe Big Mac and Borkington, they might be out of a spot currently. Let's see, McDowell. It is currently Lattimore, Gutierrez, and Big Mac as... Oh, no, Skippy! 4 wide here. Is that going to work? Skippy Larson's being aggressive, and yes, it's going to work. As McDowell now holds on to the top transfer spot, but here comes Maria Tagoa. She's now currently in. And how is she going to hold it? We got 6 laps to go here. As she is using the inside line to her advantage and maybe going to try to pull away. Here comes Jason Main. I think he might get a spot here. Maybe not the final spot, as I believe it will now be Tagoa, Main, McDowell, and Big Mac trying to hold on. Gutierrez is out. Lattimore is out. Workington is out. Ella Baker starting to lose the draft a little bit. But it's all Neil Dick out front meanwhile, trying to win his second duel in a row. As he crosses the line, 5 laps to go for Neil Dick. Look back again on the transfer battle. It is McDowell in third. I believe these two are fighting each other, Gutierrez and Lattimore. Or excuse me, no, they're looking to get in the 500 now because McDowell holds on to the final spot. He's gonna DNQ. No, he's not. He's just you wait. As here comes Lattimore. Now he's got to battle Tagola for the final spot. Jason Main and Big Mac trying to do something out front. Maybe try to get the lead. Gutierrez, Borkington, they're all on the same line. They're all on the inside line. Trying to get by Tagola. Lattimore is going to get around her. Here comes Lattimore. He now holds on to the final spot. But now he has a bit of a problem behind it's Gutierrez, as I think Jason Main is trying to go for the lead. As Gutierrez tries to get the final spot, Lattimore blocks him. It's still Neil Dick all out front. I'd say these three right here, Jason Main, Mark McDowell, they might be safe right now. Although I say that, and here comes Gutierrez using the inside line to his advantage. He might knock out Big Mac from the 500. 3 laps to go. And he got the final spot. He's in now currently. And now Jason Main might have to worry a little bit. He's stuck on the outside line. Here comes Gutierrez. He's trying to get the second spot. Doge Borkington is going with him. He wants to get into the 500 too, you know. He's got to pass Jason Main to do it. 4 wide. Is that going to work? He turns Jordan, and they wreck behind. And that might end the duels, as I believe that's going to knock out Borkington somehow. Caution is out, and that'll probably end the race. And Borkington just eliminated his chance to get into the 500. What just happened there? Carlson Verps got into it. Or Vebels, excuse me. Anton Alvarez got involved. What happened there to cause that accident? Obviously, once again, another 4-wide situation. Didn't quite work out. Orkington, very dumb move right there. That just screwed him out of a 500 spot. 4 wide. It worked last time when Skippy did it, but it's not going to quite work out this time as Orkington turns Jeff Jordan and into Big Mac, and Alvarez gets involved. Larson gets some damage in that, but he keeps it under control. Tagola as well. Vebelst. What a wild way to end duel number 1. Borkington. It's not the smartest move I've seen. And he is probably going to be out of the 500 now because of that. It was a very aggressive move. He tried to make it work to try to keep up with the top 4. And no, he's going to be out of a spot in the 500 now. So, controversial way to end it. And Neil Dick. But you never know. There could be an engine problem, engine issue for someone here in this pack. You never know, do you? But as it stands right now, Neil Dick will win his second duel in a row. And Mark McDowell, Angel Gutierrez, Christopher Lattimore, and Jason Main with the final spot will all get into the 500. So Neil Dick into the triumphal for the final time here in Duel 1. And Neil Dick is going to win his second duel in a row. He wins duel number 1. He'll start third for the 500. McDowell will be in. Gutierrez, Lattimore, and Jason Main will have the final spot. And a lot of drivers are going home empty-handed. Welcome back to Duel 2. As you saw in Duel 1, it was a crazy, insane race where Doge wrecked everybody at the end. And Jason Main barely held on to get the final position. And Neil Dick, of course, won Duel 1. And we're ready to start Duel 2 here. Let's get through the starting lineup. On pole, we'll start second is Brock Moore. And to his outside, S.T. Craig. Both of those drivers can fall back on their qualifying times if something bad happens to them. In row 2 is Peter Lane and Molly Costa. He needs to race his way in. Rookie Montana Sherman starts in 5th place, and Caleb Blaine starts to his outside. Row 4 is Manuel Sanchez. He needs to race his way in with Mark Guerrero to his outside. There'd be the free-in card. Row 5 is Flandre Wilson and Kyler Sustry. Row 6 is Purep Srivastava and Asher Evelyn. He needs to race his way in. In row 7 is Dan Sedgwick and Ronnie Martin. He needs to race his way in. In row 8 is Nelson Reeves and Riley Smith. Why is the camera acting like that? In row 9 is Fleet Cruz and Ricky Percat. Needs to race his way in. Row 10 is Jackson Maine. Needs to race his way in. And Kellen Short. And most of these other drivers need to race their way in. Aaron Pulaski, who we last saw back in 1996, he's back. And to his outside, Dave Patrick, Tsukamoto Kazuko. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I'll figure it out over time. And Alex Davidson starting alongside her. Luke Evans and Caleb Blaine, Derek Kennedy and Tegan Fox, Abel DeGroat and David Stevenson. And in the final row, Dick Ball and Jackson Brown. They round out your 32-car field. And just like Duel 1, 4 can make it. The rest will have to go home. The Life Taurus has arrived.
Drivers, stop.
The fans really want to see Dick Ball make the show. Can he do it? We'll see here. So anyways, engine's getting fired up. And we are rolling. Brock Moore will start second for the 500 tomorrow. Dick Ball will make the field, only took a page the field on lap 2. This might be true. This might be real, chat. But anyways, we saw an exciting first duel filled with a ton of battles for that final transfer spot and a controversial end to the race. And we'll see if it happens again or if it's a cleaner race. Because you know how the duels work. One race is an insane clusterfuck, the other one is just a calm, nice ride. But Brock Moore, S.T. Craig will lead the field to green here. They're going to see the green flag this time by, and we're underway. Every engine explodes green. A little bit of a slow start there from Moore, as Peter Lane immediately looks down to the inside right there, but he has no room. He's still peeking down there, though. He might have room this time. Peter Lane trying to take the lead here early. Manuel Sanchez following right behind. He wants to make sure he has that top transfer spot. And it looks like Brock Moore is not even going to not going to even lead lap number 1. Manuel Sanchez might lead lap number 1 here. He gets clear of Peter Lane. Manuel Sanchez to the front. And now immediately he moves up to the high side. Here comes Flandre Wilson. Maybe going to try to get the lead here side by side. Sanchez barely leads it, but Wilson will have the advantage on the inside. These guys are getting racy here early. And Flandre Wilson now clears, but Srivastava is right behind. Jackson Maine making up a ton of positions. He's looking to take the top transfer spot, along with Ricky Percat right behind. Shout out Ricky Percat, the Australian. Nelson Reeves making it 3 wide for 3rd behind. Anthony, did you forget words over the off-season? Perhaps. And so Reeves slots into 3rd place, but here comes Jackson Maine. Right behind him is Percat and Martin. Ronnie Martin, I believe, holds on to the final transfer spot. As the top 2 have pulled away here, surprisingly, they have gapped the field, as now I believe Sanchez will hold on to that final spot as it's 3 wide behind. And now it will get a bit single-filed out here. And now Srivastava looking for the lead. He moves down to the inside. He's got help Here comes Maine. Here comes Percat. They're going to try to help the 36. And Prurep Stravostova will get clear. New leader here, and we got a wreck behind. We got a crash. Oh, whoa! Derek Kennedy! What just happened there? There's a lot of torn up race cars here. And Sanchez was involved with that. I don't know what happened to Asher Evelyn there. That was a terrible wreck right there. Derek Kennedy being an idiot. I think you were right, Doge. The calm duel was Duel 1. As that was a crazy wreck right there. Let's see the main wreck here. Brock is already locked in, yeah. And it's a classic situation of being 4 wide and, you know, we've already figured out, hey, that doesn't usually work here. So, Stevenson way down on the bottom here. I think is going to make contact with Pulaski here. Pulaski needing to race his way in, so does Stevenson, and they make contact and they send the whole top line into the outside wall. Sanchez gets into it, S.D. Craig, and a bunch of other cars behind. I think Evelyn escapes the accident with minimal damage. A lot of Ford drivers getting involved. FPR teammates, and then here comes Derek Kennedy slamming into the 62 and more. Just a terrible accident. A stupid move by Derek Kennedy right there. I'm sure the officials are not going to be happy with him. See if Evelyn completely missed that. Let's actually ride along with him. Wow, great wreck avoidance there by the 12. And there you can see Kennedy piling in. That was amazing wreck avoidance right there. Someone gets into the dirt there. I don't know who that was, but I'm just amazed by that. Some incredible driving by the 12 there. I think it was Kazuko. Got into the grass a little bit. Yes, she did. I don't know what she was doing right there. But yeah, we are under caution for a huge wreck here to start off duel number 2. Oh, what is going on? Welcome back to Daytona. We're just about set, ready to go back green here. It is still Prurap Stravostova leading with Jackson Maine, Ricky Percat, and Kellen Short right behind with Mark Guerrero rounding out your top 5. For transfers right now, it is currently Jackson Maine, Ricky Percat, Ronnie Martin, and surprisingly, Caleb Rose holds on to the final spot in 11th. But there's... Oh, 16 had a mechanical issue, but it seems like no damage to Costa. But anyways, Rose has a long way to go still, as he's going to try to hold off everyone for that final spot. And there have been 4 retirements from the big one, with Derek Kennedy, Brock Moore, Fleet Cruz, and Montana Sherman all being out of this race. Kennedy now being the first confirmed DNQ of this duel. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me again. I'm very professional. So the pace car will head to pit road here as we get ready for the restart. And so Prurap Stravostova will lead the field back to green here. Jackson Maine and Ricky Percat right behind. And we are green again. Stravostova, great restart there. Pulls away a bit. Wilson right behind. And Kellen Short, Ronnie Martin all trying to make something on the inside lane here work. Maine trying to hold on to second. Percat not trying to fall back too far. Trying to hold on to a transfer spot. Caleb Rose is looking looking like he's making that work out as well. Currently holds on to the final spot. Here comes Wilson trying to get her second place back over Jackson Maine. Top three kind of have pulled away here as Wilson will get her second place back. Burkett could take advantage of this and get the top spot here. And meanwhile, Caleb Rose is trying to hold on to his spot, but Riley Smith has other ideas, as we'll pay attention behind to that. As Burkett now holds on to third place. Rose still using the inside lane. Dick Patrick and David Stevenson can't do anything about it, but he might get second here as Jackson Maine is completely getting shuffled out on the high side here as Wilson goes for the lead out front. And Rose looks like he'll get that second place in the transfer spot. As now Fwandre Wilson takes over the lead in the duels. And now Percat, Ronnie Martin, and Jackson Maine are all stuck up on the high side here. This might be trouble for them. As we'll go back to where Rose is currently. He has Dick Patrick right behind David Stevenson. Oh, and Percat is getting put 3 wide right here. This might be trouble for Ricky. I believe Maine. Oh, Maine is right behind Martin. Rose look like he's making a few moves here meanwhile. As now Dick Patrick makes his way into the transfer spot. In one of the transfer spots as Percat completely falls out. Stevenson now in. Maine is now out. Martin trying to hold on to his final spot. And look at that. There's some underdogs right behind Dick Patrick. And Abel DeGroat in that thing. They're trying to race their way in. They might have a chance. Costa, Pulaski, and everybody else right behind also has a chance here. This transfer race is getting intense here. I'm gonna be honest. More intense than the first duel. As there's Dick Patrick. Percat falling back quickly. I believe currently he might be in. Caleb Rose, Stevenson, they're in. And now Dick Ball is in. I believe he now has the final spot as Rose, meanwhile, out front is going for the lead. Caleb Rose doing impressive things in that sponsorless 59. But Nick Reeves is going to shuffle him out here. This might be trouble for Caleb. Dick Patrick, I might have messed up. I'm sorry. Whoopsie, my bad. But yeah, Dick Ball, I think, currently holds on to the final spot. Stevenson doing big things here. A lot of open drivers doing huge things, trying to stay on top. And in the 500, as David Stevenson now leads. Gotta pay attention to that fight behind Dick Ball. Gonna try to pass Dick Patrick. Caleb Rose, I believe, is now out. Abel DeGroat is in. And more drivers getting shuffled out here as Tegan Fox takes over the lead. Dick Ball is gonna be top. He's gonna be first on the transfer spot. DeGroat right behind him. Stevenson trying to hold on to third. Costa's now got third place. And now Stevenson is trying to hold on to the final spot. But Pulaski has a chance to take over that position on the inside line. 10 laps to go as Patrick gets moved up to the high side. He's going to lose the top transfer spot to DeGroat of all cars. Abel DeGroat in that damaged piece of crap. Now currently holds on, but here comes Costa. It's a shuffling of cards here. You never know who's going to get that final transfer spot. I believe Dick Ball might fall out here as Pulaski and Percat, they got to run on the inside. Costa now holds on to the final spot. And Pulaski is going to get the final transfer spot here for now, at least. I gotta go to the driver's camera tab right here. I gotta keep up with this. I can't. It's too much action as now Percat gets around DeGroat, and now he holds on to the final spot. We're close to halfway here, folks. This is not over. And you gotta wonder if there's some lap traffic shenanigans going to be involved with this, as it looked like Wilson was going to try to get the lead there, but got blocked. It is currently Stevenson, Costa, Percat, Pulaski, I think holds on to the final spot. Yes, he does. But here comes Kazuko. Kazuko has a chance for one. Shrivastava. Is that going to work? And unlike the last couple times, I think that's going to work. Oh, that is tight. That is very close. But that just got rid of Pulaski right here. And here comes Ronnie Martin. He's going to try to get the final transfer spot. Ronnie Martin, I believe, fighting Kazuko here. And Martin will get that final transfer spot, just barely. We're halfway in this race. Wilson has taken over the lead. Meanwhile, Percat trying to hold off his transfer spot. Caleb Rose and Dick Ball might get back in it. Okay. But yeah, it's getting a bit single-filed out front. It is Martin currently with the last spot. Dick Patrick right behind, though. Percat might be in trouble here. He might be stuck on the middle. He's stuck in the middle. That's not where you want to be. How is he going to hang on? There's no room on the inside line. Martin is going to make sure of it. He tried to get down to the inside, but it's not going to work. Martin will now grab the third spot. Astravasova making some moves. Now Dick Patrick has a chance to get back into that transfer spot. Caleb Rose also has a chance. He's trying to make moves on the inside line behind. And I believe some drivers are falling back in this pack, and as Dick Patrick gets into that transfer spot over Ricky Percat, Stravastova makes moves. He's looking for second. And now Patrick makes a move on Costa here. And he'll be third in line, as Maine will move down to the inside. That will help Jackson Maine try to get up and get that transfer spot, as Wilson still leading this race. Still dominating here. There's Maine. I believe he's side by side with Costa and Percat here. Oh, and Percat gets stuck in the middle. He's going to fall back. Dick Patrick's going to get stuck way up on the high side here, as we got a battle for the lead. Purep Shrivastava is trying to get his lead back. And it looks like he might clear. He will. As Jackson Maine has made his way all the way up to the second transfer spot. Got by Stevenson, got by Dick Patrick. Now Caleb Rose using the inside line. He has another chance here. It's not over for the 59. I believe he just got by Dick Patrick here. And Percat is following along in the middle lane. Dick Ball is also trying to keep up with this pack with that bad equipment. As there goes Rose around Stevenson. I believe he was third or so. And now Rose might be second in the transfer spot, as Jackson Maine go to the equipment reel. So I believe it is currently Jackson Maine, Caleb Rose, Ronnie Martin, and it is a mess for fourth behind, but I think Percat's currently got it over David Stevenson. But here comes Dick Ball. Dick Ball's coming back. And I believe he might be in. If he passes Martin here, he will. Not quite yet, but very close. As Maine gets stuck on the high line. Tegan Fox, these drivers who are locked in are not helping these drivers who need to race their way in at all. As here comes Percat and Dick Ball and David Stevenson. And here comes Kazuko as well. And everybody on the inside line, mostly open cars. 10 laps to go. Wilson is still leading. Peter Lane in second, though. But we're glued to this transfer battle here. As here comes Stevenson on the inside. As Rose also gets stuck in the middle here. Percat holds on to the top spot now. Stevenson now into third, and here comes Ronnie Martin. He now has the final spot over Dick Ball and Jackson Maine. Kazuko's trying to get into that fourth transfer spot as well. She moves down to the inside. She's got room underneath Martin. Percat's making moves up front. He might just be locked in at this point, but you never know. You never know with the duels. as Kazuko is trying to make something happen on the inside line. Pulaski has left the draft. He's pretty much out of it at this point, unless a caution comes out soon. Still a long way to go. Yeah, we still got less than 10 laps to go here, as Percat might be stuck on the outside line here soon. I gotta admit, Caleb Rose, Stevenson, and Martin, they're holding on to the outside line pretty good. Kazuko trying to make something happen on the inside, but that car is just not powerful enough to make something happen like that. And she's not getting any help anymore. Nelson Reeves and Dick Patrick, they're not helping her anymore. As Martin is trying to hang on, trying to get around the Rose here. They're all trying to make the inside line work. We're running out of time here. Rose now holds on to the final spot. Kazuko trying to help him, surprisingly, or maybe try to use the outside line to her advantage, and I don't think that's going to quite work. Rose is going to be blocking here. Yeah, I think that 64 is just not powerful enough to make something happen. As Rose is hanging on for dear life for that final spot. Wilson still leads out front. Riley Smith trying to make something happen on the bottom. Rose looked to the inside right there. He wants more comfort. He doesn't want to be in that 4th spot anymore. He wants to be 3rd. Because, dear God, he's hanging on for dear life here to try to make the 500 field. With 7 laps to go. He's gone around Stevenson now. He's 3rd. We might have a battle for 4th for the transfer spot again. Kazuko just can't make things happen there. Something's wrong with that 64 as Jackson Maine might get the spot. 4 wide. Is that going to work again? Oh, that's tight. Caleb Rose waiting on Ronnie Martin, but it's going to work again. As Maine is now in the field. Oh, man, this is some tight racing here with 6 laps to go. Percat's still in 3rd right now. Oh, I think they might be catching up to lap traffic here. Yes, they are. Slower cars assist try and Sanchez. We're going to park them. Yep, I forgot the command here. And they are going to be told to get off the racetrack here as the pack is coming in quickly. Martin still hanging on to the final spot. Kazuko still trying to make something happen. Here comes Riley Smith for the lead. Meanwhile, out front, Riley Smith hasn't won a race yet in RMS. This is not an official race, but it's kind of close. As he moves down to the inside, helped by Dan Sedgwick. Jackson Maine is also going to help. Kazuko getting shuffled back. Martin is kind of in a safe spot right now for that final spot, as Maine is being very aggressive. Dick Patrick still trying to catch up here. He's running out of time, though. 5 laps. Blocks Guerrero. As Wilson completely gets shuffled out 3 wide. And we got some last-ditch hopes here. Dick Patrick is trying to catch up. So is Dick Ball right behind. Who I said was Dick Patrick. Me when I lie. But Dick Patrick is catching up. He might get that spot. Percat is stuck on the outside line. He's got to get down to the inside soon. He can't lose that spot. Here comes Dick Patrick. He might get it. As Maine makes the move for the lead out front. And Dick Patrick will make the move for the final transfer spot. 3 laps to go when they cross the line here. And it's Jackson Maine leading out front. He knows he has to race his way in. He's doing a good job of that as he's leading the thing. But Tegan Fox has other ideas. She wants to lead. So does Ronnie Martin. And no, I think Caleb Rose might be in trouble here as Dick Ball has the inside line. Oh, but can he stay with the draft, though? That's the question. Is that car powerful enough to stay with this pack? Caleb Rose is in a vulnerable position, and an even more vulnerable position here. Here comes Ricky Percat here. Oh, and Jackson Maine is 4 wide now. Uh-oh. Will it work once again? Yes, it will. Just barely again. Oh, my goodness. Such close racing as I believe Percat. Here comes Dick Ball on the inside. 2 laps to go. I think he just took over the final spot, maybe, as they continue the battle for the lead out front. Dickball's looking to get into the 500. He's never been able to do that. Who has the final spot now? I think it's Percat. Percat has the final spot. But how long can Dickball last? It's Ricky Percat right now, trying to get around Ronnie Martin. Ronnie Martin might be in trouble here. Out front, though, it's going to be white flag. Last lap for Purab Shrivastava. Here comes McDowell. Or excuse me, Guerrero. Why did I say... I don't know. This is just insanity right now. Dickball is in 5th place. He might have a chance. He might be in the 500 as here goes Guerrero to the inside. Staying to the inside line. That's a great strategy. They're racing hard behind for the final transfer spot. We're going to keep up with that. Dick Patrick might lose a spot right here. Stevenson, I believe, is now in. Oh, here comes Peter Lane for the lead. Peter Lane is now leading. But I believe Stevenson has the last spot. Here comes Caleb Lane. Here's the last chance for Caleb Lane to get the spot. Peter Lane is going to win. Caleb Rose just barely going to miss it. Stevenson is barely going to get in. Dickball is also in the 500. What a finish to this race. Holy cow. What a finish for the transfer spot. Peter Lane wins. And your transfers are Dickball. He's in the 500 for the first time. Jackson Maine is in. Ricky Percat is in. And David Stevenson just barely beat out Caleb Rose for the final spot. He's in the 500. What an exciting end to this duel. And just like the first one, many drivers are going to go home disappointed.